before I get started, I gotta say, we just reached 19,000 subscribers on the channel. Thank you guys so much for your support and everything you guys have been doing for this channel. I really appreciate that. But we're still not done yet. We still have a mission to get to 20,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you love daily Knicks content and you enjoy content like this, please consider hitting that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. Now, it's no surprise. Everybody basically knows at this point, it's not a secret. During the offseason, during the summer, going back all the way to draft night, the Knicks were looking to make a number of trades. And obviously, we did that. Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges. But during those trade talks, Mitchell Robinson's name was thrown out there a number of times. The Knicks have made him available a number of times, but they have failed to make a trade to move him at this point in time. Even heading into the season, with him rehabbing that ankle, we all still thought potentially there could be a trade on the horizon. But according to the recent reports that we have from Ian Begley from SNY, an NBA insider, he recently revealed that the Knicks are not looking to trade Mitchell Robinson, but instead, they actually believe they have a need for Robinson on this team. And of course, we understand why. One main reason for that: defense. We're going to break down all of these latest reports and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks are changing their trade plans for Mitchell Robinson. That's right. Going into the season, even before the season started, we all knew Mitchell Robinson was available for a trade. The Knicks were actively and openly trying to move him. We did a number of videos on this channel about the Knicks potentially trying to move him for another big, potentially a starting big or a backup big. But they could never get a trade to work for them because they didn't want to give up enough assets or too much assets to get a player that wasn't worth it. And now, according to the latest reports from Ian Begley, it looks like they may never make that trade to begin with now. SNY NBA insider Ian Begley recently discussed how people view Mitchell Robinson now versus during the summer. Begley notes that the idea of trading Robinson has shifted for the Knicks as New York believes it needs somebody like Mitch on the team. Begley on how the Knicks view Robinson today. Over the summer, we all kind of knew about it. We were talking about it. He was available in trades. I'm not saying that the Knicks were trying to look to get off of him, but his name came up in several discussions, including trade talks for Karl-Anthony Towns. So he was definitely gettable. I want to make sure we all understand that. A lot of people are trying to fight me on this, whether Mitchell Robinson was available, whether he wasn't. Let's all make it clear. Mitchell Robinson was available for trade during this offseason. The Knicks tried to trade him. They tried to trade him for Karl-Anthony Towns, but the trade did not work. As Ian Begley said, he was gettable. Let's keep that in mind as we continue here. Ian Begley also confirmed here that he thought maybe heading into the season that it would still be the case that the Knicks would consider moving Mitchell Robinson potentially in potential trades for either Walker Kessler or Nick Richards because of all the situation issues we're dealing with right now with the backup center situation. So Ian Begley had thought, even though we couldn't pull off a Walker Kessler trade in the offseason, that potentially at some point we were going to trade Robinson to try to get a backup center. And the names that continue to come up are Walker Kessler and Nick Richards. That's something to note there because maybe at the trade deadline, I'm not saying the Knicks look to trade Robinson, but if they look to get more pieces on this team, maybe they look at the buyout market. Maybe they look at who's available via trade. And depending on what that cost is, and if they can afford them on the team, maybe that's a player they go after. According to Begley, but I think there has been a little bit of a seat change. You can never say the Knicks uniformly think X, Y, and Z because there's many decision makers there. But I think there's some people of influence who see Mitchell Robinson now as an integral part of the roster if you can come back and be healthy. Because you know there's been defensive issues so far that we talked about earlier. Robinson, obviously one of the best rim protectors and best offensive rebounders in the league when healthy. He's somebody that can have a great impact on this team. I think some people who have influence over there, he's referring to the Knicks organization, see him, Mitchell Robinson, as somebody they need, somebody they are going to need, and the appetite to move him certainly is not what it was over the summer. So a lot to break down here. Clearly, the Knicks wanted to move Robinson in the summer. Heading into the season, potentially could have still been traded because according to NBA insider Ian Begley, he thought that going into the season, that was still the case. So options like Walker Kessler, options like Nick Richards, those names started to pop up. But as we see the Knicks currently playing and what they're doing and how good they look on offense and the fact that their offense can continue to get better as they gain more chemistry, you start to look at the numbers, at the stats, and then you think to yourself, offense isn't the issue with this team because they can score wherever they want to score from, get wherever they want to get to on the court, and if they want to score on the outside or the inside, they can do that easily. The issue comes on the defensive side of the ball, and it either is transition defense, perimeter defense, interior defense. I mean, at this point, you can take your pick, but with interior defense, that's something that's never been a problem for New York. We've had transition issues before. We've had perimeter three-point issues before. We've never had paint defense issues the way we're having them right now. And it's not to say that Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't play defense. He clearly does. It's just a different level of defense than we're used to. As Knicks fans, we're used to having that force inside that imposes so much fear in the opposing player that they don't want to drive, that they're changing their shot. But with Towns, we don't see that. Players are okay. They're happy to drive against Towns, be aggressive inside, go around him, euro around him, try to shoot over him because he just doesn't impose that same level of fear. If you have a player like Mitchell Robinson back on the team, when healthy down low, he's getting you those offensive rebounds. He's getting you easy buckets. He's blocking shots. He's putting that fear back into other players, and it allows Karl-Anthony Towns to play the four. Karl-Anthony Towns at the four allows him to drive, allows him to shoot from anywhere, allows him to play the pick and pop with Jalen Brunson or wherever he wants to play on the court. He can do that. He's a free roamer at that point, and he's not going to be hindered with trying to play defense like Mitchell Robinson or other type of players that we hope him to be. He's not going to have to do that. He's still going to have to play defense because at the four, you still have to do something. So some level of defense is needed. He'll be able to give you that. But the tough defense that we need down low, the defense that we expect out of a five that Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't give you now, Mitchell Robinson would be able to give you that when healthy down low because of everything that Mitchell Robinson can do very well. Mitchell Robinson, who accompanied the Knicks on the road trip, started shooting on his surgically repaired ankle recently, but he hasn't been cleared to practice or run yet. So we have to make sure we're clear here. Even though Robinson is progressing, he's looking like he's making good progress. He's still rehabbing. January is still looking like the time frame he's going to return. So even though we're talking about Mitchell Robinson, we're talking about potential trades and all of this stuff, when he returns, it sounds like he's going to have a very big role on this team because the Knicks are looking for that defensive anchor, somebody they can put in to be that plug defensively. And right now, if you look at the roster when healthy, the player that fits the mold the best would be Mitchell Robinson. And clearly, the Knicks know that. That's why they shifted their thinking on him in terms of trades. They're not looking to trade him right now. And I think if this Knicks team continues to win and the offense continues to look good, but the defense still has issues, they're not going to trade him at all because they're going to think Mitchell Robinson is the answer to all of this. If you enjoyed these clips from the live show, be sure to subscribe to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss any new episodes or when we go live. Thanks for watching, Knicks fans, and until next time, peace.